To bring you to some breaking news we've been following out of Southeast Charlotte. Let's go ahead and take you to this breaking scene that we're following. This is from our crew who just got there on scene in the 8100 block of Woodscape Drive. This is kind of a far back look, so you can kind of see we're set back and zooming in quite a bit, but you just saw a second ago, we've got a look at not only the fire crews, but also you can see some of that smoke that is coming from what appears to be still a pretty actively burning building of sorts. We mentioned our crews a little ways back. We're still trying to figure out exactly what this is. We showed you on the map earlier that there's a business around here, and there's what appears to be a park at Ferentino, which is like a residence of some sort, like an apartment complex. We're not quite sure, but look at the scene. I mean, this is kind of the wider look as our crew is zooming out here. You can see all of the fire trucks. We mentioned this is a 2-alarm fire, so essentially that means that we've got multiple firehouses responding to this at this point. Look at that as you pan over even more all around the area, which kind of speaks to some of the delays we were seeing over on Village Lake Drive earlier. And just to kind of remind you too, so we talked about this being Village Lake Drive area near Monroe Road and Independence. This is specifically Woodscape Drive, so it's kind of an offshoot of Village Lake. It is near some bodies of water. As you can kind of see, there's reflections from the water. You can see those emergency lights reflecting there on what appears to be a pond of sorts. So a few things that are kind of up in the air as far as questions. We don't know about any injuries, and we mentioned before we had confirmation from Medic that they had sent the mass casualty bus out there. We've seen them do this as kind of a precautionary measure. We've seen them do this before merely as support for firefighters. I alluded to the fact that several months back, over a very brutal summer, when firefighters were one time out fighting a fire in the middle of the summer heat, and it was quite warm, they actually sent this mass casualty bus to the scene, almost like a cooling center, if you will, for firefighters. So it doesn't necessarily mean widespread injuries, although we are asking those questions, and we hope to get you some updates as soon as possible. So there you have it, another look here live at the smoke pouring from this building. It's coming at a pretty good clip in the sense that we see it really pouring upwards. So I have to kind of guess, as we're not actively seeing flames, at least from our perspective, that it does still look like it is actively burning in some ways. And there is a very telling wide look now. You can see just the scope of the response, and reiterating here, this is a 2-alarm fire. We haven't gotten any updates from fire department here regarding additional units being sent or anything like that, but 2-alarm struck probably about an hour ago, and they have a battalion chief who's in command of both of those responses. So definitely some blockage as we're zooming even farther out. For folks who are just joining us here on Live Impact News, we just got our crew to the scene of this. We believe it could be an apartment complex fire. We're still trying to get some full details on the location, but this is in Southeast Charlotte off of Monroe Road near Village Lake Drive. It's going to be north of McAlpine Creek Park, if you're familiar at all with that area, north of the Pines, kind of around the bodies of water that they have just north of that McAlpine Creek Park area. And it looks pretty frightening in the sense of just the number of units. So, I mean, there's clearly a concern as far as this fire is concerned about getting it under control, and still waiting to hear about what sort of injuries might be at play. Hopefully none, but we have been asking Medic those questions. Did not see any sort of a response on that front in the sense of, were there folks transported? Are there injuries? All Medic has told us within the last, I'd say, 45, 50 minutes that they have their mass casualty bus going and multiple units en route. We'll remind you that could be a precaution, does not necessarily mean mass injuries, could also just be a support for the fire crews out there. So with that, we'll go ahead and take a quick break, folks. We want to make sure that you're staying on top of the very latest. So break, 2 minutes, back on the other side, hopefully with another shot, potentially with some updates if we get any more information from fire crews and from our crew on scene. So thank you so much for sticking with us here on Live Impact News. See you on the other side of this very quick break.